Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Market Fatafat on ET Now. I'm Shri Sharma and with me is Vinny Motiwala. And viewers, this is the show where we highlight all the counters that are buzzing either on the back of the news flow or on the back of the technicals. In a short while from now, we will connect with our researchers as well as our technical experts to highlight all the buzzing counters as of now. But before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So, Vinny, the Christmassy feel around. The markets are also seeing the shade of a green and a red, while Nifty is holding on to the green as of now, but Bank Nifty is on the red side.
Absolutely. Seems like it gave up those gains, right? For the Bank Nifty, at least when you look at it, was comfortably trading in the green during the early morning trade, midday through as well. And then in the last 1 hour, we saw the fall coming in the Bank Nifty. As of now, Bank Nifty is down 0.2% in trade. Other than that, also, just let's look at what the broader markets are doing as well. When you looked at it in the morning, mid-cap as well as the small-cap space were outperforming the benchmark indices. As of now, also seems like, they're performing in tandem with the markets as well. The Nifty mid-cap up 0.4% in trade. And let's look at Nifty small-cap also. That was too, holding on to very strong gains in the morning. So, off the day's highest point seems like what the market is at as of now. Nifty small-cap is up only 0.7% now. It was up more than 1.5% at one point of time as well. Let's look at just what the Nifty is holding on to as of now as well. It was comfortably around that 21,350 levels and above those levels. As of now, yes, it's below those levels of 21,050. Yes, but still holding on to green, 0.3% of gain that we're seeing coming in other Nifty as well. Yes, real estate, Nifty Realty, that's the one that is continuing to hold on to gains as well. Strong gains that has been managed over there. Nifty Auto as well as metals, which are holding on to grain. But other than that, when you're looking at it, Nifty Bank, PSU banks, all of them are under pressure. And most of the market seems like, they have given up most of this morning gains that we saw coming in for the markets as well. As of now, advance decline ratio, yes, continues to be in the favor of advances versus the declines as well. And let's look at some of the individual movers when you look at it in terms of the trade that has been coming in, especially on the Nifty 50 front as well. So yes, what you are seeing in terms of the gainers, yes, we have Maruti, Tata Motors, Wipro, which is holding on to strong gains as well. While in terms of the losers for the market is for the Nifty 50, Grasim, Bajaj Finance, BPCL, SBI Life among the top losers on the Nifty 50 as well. So yes, a lot of individual movement history that has been happening in terms markets when you look at it as well, off the day's highest point, but at least holding on to some bit of a green right now. That's how the market is looking like.
Okay, that's the market picture for now. But with this, let's move on and let's welcome on board our team of researchers as well as our technical expert for today. And we are being joined by Ankita on the research side, as well as we have Snehi on the research side, and we are being also joined by Swati Hotkar from Nirmal Securities. A very good afternoon to all three of you, but let's kickstart highlighting the counters then. And first up, let's put the spotlight on AMI Organics. This counter is in focus as the company just yesterday had a block deal wherein Chawatia family sold around 12.5% stake into the company, though they still continue holding 5% stake in the overall company. But that has been a major overhang that Chawatia family will be going ahead and selling the stake. Now that is done and dusted, but the good part to know is that a lot of these marquee names have entered AMI Organics as of now, what we understand, and what the block deals is that ValueQuest Investment, Morgan Stanley Asia has bought around 2% stake into the company. Other than that, BofA Securities Europe, ICICI Prudential, Malabar India Fund has bought around 1.4% stake into this company. So that's definitely a good news for AMI Organics coming in. That's why the stock is still holding on to the greens. But other than that, the company is actually trying to expand into the niche areas of growth, and that's why these investors are bullish on, because just yesterday they announced that they're going to be coming up with the electrolytes plants in Gujarat, where the company will be setting up around 300 crores, will be spending 300 crores for this new plant. And this battery cells electrolytes will be catering to the electric vehicle segment, and that's the recent development on AMI Organics. Nevertheless, the stock is still holding on to the greens then.
Okay. That is AMI Organics for y'all, keeping an eye out on that one. But let's move on, talk about the logistical names and logistic stocks. Now, UBS has come out with a note. Actually, it's an initiation of coverage note for these logistic. So when you look at it, Delivery, Adani Ports as well as Concor is what they have initiated coverage on. For Delivery, they have initiated coverage with a buy rating and a target price of 500 rupees rupees per share. Adani Ports, they're initiating coverage with a neutral rating and a target price of 1,175 rupees per share, while Concon, it's a sell rating and a target price of 770 rupees per share. So, sell rating is what is keeping the pressure in terms of the stock for Concor as well. As of now, it's down 1.4% when you look at it as well. Now, Delivery, yes, holding on to some bit of a gains in terms of that as well. When you look at it, what they're saying is that they believe that Delivery is actually at consolidating at an inflection on the parcel growth segment as well as Spontan integration as well, which may work out well for Delivery going forward as well. Other than that, Concor, they believe that sell rating is what they've given because they're cautious in terms of the market share for the company and market share loss. So yes, they're keeping an eye out on that. Concor has a higher valuation is what they're saying versus the weak EXIM cycle. That could impact Concor as well. So yes, keeping an eye out on all these logistics names today. Delivery is trading on the positive side. Concor trading with a bit of a cut today, down 1.4% as well.
Okay, moving on, let's shift focus to the hotel space, and from that pack, Swati, have picked up Sami Hotels. Tell us, how is this chart looking like? Because at the start of December, the stock was at around 180, dipped a bit and now seem to be recovering. Where are the next targets you are looking out for?
As of now, the stock is trading at around 174, 173. It's well placed above the 50 days moving average. Also, the interesting fact that it is just trading in the higher tops and higher bottom formation. So, looking towards the technical setup, I believe the stock has a potential to reach up to the 22-week high, which comes to around 185 levels, and beyond that, 195, 200 levels can be seen. So, the overall view is definitely positive as long as this particular counter respects the 50 days moving average, which comes to at around 160 levels.
Okay. That is Sami Hotels for y'all. Keeping an eye out on those levels over there. But let's move on and talk about transformer and reflectors. Then Snehi, why is this one and focus? Did we have some key highlights that came in from the management when we spoke to them as well?
Let's first talk about the most important news flow that has come in for transformers and rectifiers, and that is the order win that they have got, and the order is worth 219 crore rupees, and that's coming in from Power Grid. Now, the order involves designing, engineering, manufacturing and supplying 21 of the company's reactors, along with a whole host of activities like fitting, transportation, in-transit, insurance, loading and uploading of and installation of all the services as well. Now, in an exchange filing, the company said that this entire work regarding this order win should be completed within 15 months from the issue of notification of the award. And well, when you look at the stock price right now, it's up and away in trade, almost 11% uptick, intraday uptick coming in for transformers and rectifiers. Stock is also at its 52-week high. So well, on the back of that, transformers and rectifiers is in focus today. Also, we managed to speak to the management of transformers and rectifiers, who updated us about their order book situation. So listen into what they had to say.
The total order book now will go to something like 2,000 crores. And the time frame of the order which we have received recently in last week, the timeline is about 16 months. Because these are all long projects where the customer has to plan everything and then only it will happen. So the execution time is something like 16 months. So when I'm saying 10 to 15% increase in the prices is not only because of the raw material, but it is the margins are increasing. So when the margins are increasing, last year, we had a bit of 9.5% or 9.7%. So this year is going to cross 10%, and in the coming year, it is going to be definitely more than the double figure. So it will be, say, 13 to 14%. If you say, in 2006, 2007, we had a EBIT margin of 18%. So we are hopeful that we'll be able to achieve that.
Okay, we're moving on. Let's shift focus to what SBI Life is doing, because all these life insurance counters are being drifting lower, and SBI Life is one such stock. Swati, how is this stock looking like on charts? Do you believe that there could be some more downside in this one?
See, yes, SBI Life, we have seen that the stock has given the breakdown of 20 days moving average from the last 2 to 3 trading session. We are witnessing that it's just facing a very strong resistance at around 1430 levels. So my view is little bit cautious, and the immediate support lies at 1370 level. any breakdown below that levels, I believe that the profit booking can be intensified and which might take a stocks towards to at least 1300 to 2080 levels on the downside. So my view is cautious. Avoid the long position at the current market price. That would be my recommendation on this particular counter.
Okay, keeping an eye out on SBI Life and those levels over there. Let's move on. Ankita, talk about Adani Green as well. Why is this one in focus? What's the news flow here today?
Well, yes, Adani Green is in focus today, Vinny, because a billionaire Gautam Adani and family has decided to invest $1 billion in Adani Green. Now, the company is considering issuing preferential shares to the company's founders to meet the expansion and refinancing requirements, and the board is set to consider, the fundraising proposal on December 26th. Now, that's the news coming in on Adani Green. Plus, they have also got an approval of material-related party transaction by Adani Renewable Energy 9 Limited, which is a subsidiary of the company, with Total Energies Renewables Singapore Pte Limited. And the back of that fact, so Adani Green is going to be in focus today. However, it's trading pretty flat right now.
Okay, moving on then, let's shift focus to what Shri Pushkar is doing. Swati, this is the next counter that is on your radar. We don't discuss this stock very often, but what's the outlook going ahead? Because in the past 6 months, what we are seeing, the stock is up around 20%, but now seem to be giving some signs of a breakout, isn't it?
Yes, you have correctly pointed out this particular stock is on the verge of giving the breakout on the monthly formation. If we look towards the line chart, this particular stock has already given the breakout of the inverse head and shoulder pattern. This month the stock is already in a plus of almost 70 to 18% upside gains we have witnessed. I believe that the stock is planning to move ahead towards to at least 250 will be the first immediate target, second target, and looking for 280 levels. So definitely at the current market price, the risk reward ratio is really favorable. So one can go long position at 221 levels for immediate target, 250 to 80 levels, whereas the support is played at around 200 levels.
Okay, moving on, let's shift focus to LIC. Then the stock has been on the roll in the recent times, and another positive update coming in on LIC says that the government has granted one-time exemption on 25% minimum public holding for the company, and this exemption to achieve 25% of minimum public shareholding within the 10 years from the date of listing till May 2030. So that's the announcement coming in on LIC. LIC is the counter that recently got listed, and what we see is that the stock was actually in the green and is been holding on to the green since then, I believe, because on the screen that's LIC Housing Finance, but the news flow is on LIC, where the government has granted one-time exemption of 25% minimum public holding, and if you see the stock of LIC, then the stock is holding on to the gains of around 3 to 4%.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the next stock that is in focus today. We're seeing Zomato is in focus. Yesterday, actually, a news flow came in from agencies saying that Zomato may look to acquire Shiprocket for around $2 billion. Now, Zomato came out with a clarification clearly saying that this is not what they're looking at. They're not looking at any acquisition as of now. They've denied this statement, and they would be cautious. This is mainly to caution the investors that this is against and this is an absolutely incorrect news flow that has been floating in the market. They're remaining and focusing mainly on the existing businesses with no plans for any acquisition at the moment as well. Let's not forget, Zomato holds around 8% stake in Shiprocket as of now. Other than that, today, we also have a brokerage note that has actually come in from UBS on Zomato, where this is actually according to the November data, which showed that the third straight month of slowdown came in. But on the other hand, when you look at Zomato, they've actually managed to gain market share for the third straight. And December typically is a very strong month for the company as well in terms of the quarter-wise as well. So let's keep an eye out on Zomato. Zomato volumes, yes, marginally down by 1% in the month of November on a month-on-month basis. So yes, that's the main reason for keeping an eye out on Zomato.
Okay, moving on, and Swati, let's put the spotlight on Asian Paints. This large cap has been doing pretty well for itself, but given the volatility in the crude prices, how are you seeing Asian Paints as of now? Because in the past 6 months, what we are seeing is that the stock has just given a return of 1.3%. But do you believe now is the time to get bullish even more?
Yes, if you look towards on a larger degree from 2021-22 levels, the stock is just trading in a very consolidation phase. Got stuck within the range of 2500 to 3400 levels. Now it's on the verge of giving the consolidation breakouts. So it just making a coming into the position to give the breakout, and I believe once it manages to give a breakout of 3400 levels, more upside or new trend can be seen in this particular counter. And for longer term horizon, I believe that 4000 levels can be seen very soon. So at the current level, one can take a buy position into their portfolio. If you're looking for a longer term horizon, definitely one can go for long. And any dips towards to 3000 levels, one also can go add also. So view is really bullish on this particular counter for immediate target of 4000 levels on the high side.
Okay, that's the level one should keep an eye out on for Asian Paints. Let's move on and stay, then talk about Madras Fertilizers. Why is this stock in focus today? What's the news flow?
Well, the stock is in focus on the back of an update that it has issued to the exchanges. The stock is up almost 3.5% on the back of this news flow that the company has restarted operations at its plant in Chennai. Now, remember that this plant was affected due to Cyclone Nichong a few days ago because of heavy cyclonic winds as well as heavy rainfall as well. On the back of that, the plant had to halt its operations temporarily, and this happened on the of December. So now the company has updated exchanges that it has restarted operations, and on the back of this news flow, the stock is up 3.5% in trade today.
Okay, moving on, and Swati, coming to you to talk about Coal India. This particular counter in this particular year has seen fantastic returns, and there seems to be no stopping. On the screens, viewers can see that almost 60% return just in the past 6 months is what the stock has given. What are the next targets that one should be looking out for then?
Yes, you have rightly pointed out this year was very spectacular year for this Coal India counter, almost given more than 60% returns, and it has just came out with the all short-term targets, and I believe that for longer horizon, definitely 450 levels can be seen on the higher side. Why I'm saying that, because if you look towards the yearly chart, the stock has given the breakout of the golden retracement ratio, which comes to at around 61.84%. Which is coming at around 300 level and maintaining a very positive closing about the same on month basis. So I believe that this rally is likely to be extended towards to 450 level. So those who are having any long positions, they can definitely hold on by keeping a trading stop loss of 300 levels on the downside. For immediate target will be a 450. Beyond that, 470 levels can be seen.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on Coal India over there. Let's move on, talk about a pharma name, and that is Lupin. Ankita, why is this one in focus? What's the news for today?
Well, yes, Lupin is in focus today because it has launched Ayurvedic liquid laxative soft-to-wax liquid fiber. Now, with this, the company is entering the Indian liquid laxative market. And in another set of news that has also come in is that Lupin's wholly owned subsidiary Lupin Atlantis Holdings SA Switzerland has entered into an asset purchase agreement with Sanofi, which is a French multinational pharmaceutical company, to acquire a portfolio of products across Europe and Canada. And on the back of this, Lupin is in focus today. It was up 1%, but right now it seems to have given up gains and is currently trading very flat.
Okay, moving on, and before going to the next stock in focus, let's put the spotlight on the markets and the benchmark indices. Both the benchmark indices, Nifty 50 as well as Bank Nifty, seem to be drifting in the red. While when we started the show, the Nifty was holding on to the greens, but now you can see almost a 3 points cut on Nifty 50. But for the Bank Nifty, the fall is quite sharper, because in the last 15-20 minutes or so, we will see that drop coming in, and you will see that more than 400 points cut is being witnessed on banking index as of now. So the markets are drifting in the red as of now, but let's shift focus back to the stock specific action then. And Swati, coming to you to talk about HDFC Life, because you gave a stance on SBI Life, but how is HDFC Life looking on charts as of now?
Bit cautious on HDFC. Why I'm putting such kind of a view, because today the stock is given the breakdown of the important moving averages, say the 50 and 100 DMA, which is a very cautious sign at the current level, because even though the market was quoting a new highs, but this particular counter has witnessed selling pressure, or say the profit booking from 710 levels, and from the last few 10 to 15 trading sessions, we are witnessing continuous downfalls on the lower level. I believe that this selling pressure is likely to be intensified, and which might take a stock towards to 600 level, a level supported by its 200 DMA. So the view is a bit cautious. Those who are having any long position, they should book the profits, or one can go for a short position as well as till the stock holds the 650 ratio as a resistance level. So Don't go for a long positions. One can go for a short with a stop loss of a 650. I'm looking for a target of 600 levels on the downside.
Okay, moving on, let's shift focus to MOIL. Then the company has come out with its operational update where they have said that 2023 production surpasses 1.6 million tons, and this is 26% higher of the previous best achieved number that was back in 2019. And from those numbers, their best achieved numbers of 2019, the company has surpassed those numbers by 26% to be on the positive side. And this time the 2023 production is coming in at 1.6 million tons. The company also says that similarly, the sales during the calendar years also exceeded 14 lakh tons, breaking the multi-year record of 2007. So that's the sales and the kind of a production that MOIL has achieved in 2023. So definitely 2023 has been a great year for MOIL, and so for the stock price as well, because if you will see the stock in this particular year, that has done pretty well for itself. And even today, given the volatility in the markets, given that the benchmark indices are seen to be drifting in the red, MOIL is still holding on to the gains of almost 1% as of now.
Okay, let's move on and talk about HUL then. And Swati, what's the view now coming in on this FMCG giant? What are the targets that you're keeping an eye out on for HUL?
With the HUL, the overall view is definitely bullish, but the stock has got stuck within the range of 2400 to 2700. Within that range, the stock is just trading in the span of 1 to 2 years. I believe it's just hitting up to give the breakout on the higher side. As of now, it is in the accumulation phase as such, but definitely risk-reward ratio is very favorable at the current market price. So those who are looking for a long-term portfolio building management purpose, this particular counter is really very fruitful, will be seen. Upside, I'm looking for a target of 23,000 or 3,400 levels for over a period of 1 year at least. So one can go for a long position at the current market price, or any dips towards 2400 can be accumulated this particular counter. Downside, it has a very good support of 2200 levels. So the view will really be for a longer term horizon. I'm putting a target of 3000 to 3400 levels on the high side.
Okay, keeping an eye out on HUL and on those levels over there as well. Let's move on, talk about MGL, and this one isn't focused after we have a brokerage note that's come in from Jefferies on MGL. They are maintaining a buy, but they've hiked the target price for MGL to 1,350 rupees per share from previous 1,340 rupees, so marginal increase in terms of the target price. They believe that the OEM partnership is gaining traction, and that should aid the volume growth in FY25 for the company. Higher sourcing of priority HPHT gas allocation to offset the APM shortfall. In terms of that is something that would work out well in terms of margin headroom that affords avenues for a lot of volume growth that could come in, and as well as the EV risks are very manageable as of now compared to NCR. So that's why they prefer MGL over an IGL, and that is why today we're seeing MGL was trading with sharp gains, but with the market seems like it's given up most of its gains, down almost 0.1% in trade. I beg your pardon, it's still trading with gains of 0.1% in trade.
Okay, moving on, and let's shift focus to IndusInd Bank. The stock is trading flat, Swati, as of now. But if we look at the outperformance, then definitely IndusInd Bank turns out to be an outperformer, because on a YTD basis, the stock has given a return of 28% and very close to its 52-week high as well. So what are the next targets that one should be looking out for?
Yes, today this particular stock has quoted a new 52-week high, which comes to at around 1591 levels. I believe the strength has remained intact in this particular counter, because even though the bank nifty is showing the correction phase as such, but this particular counter is well placed above all the important moving averages, 50, 100 and 200 DMA. So looking towards the strength of this particular stock, I believe that very soon this counter will enter into the 1650, 1700 levels. So long positions can be holded as long as it's hold 1500 levels, which will act as a 50 days moving average support. So the long positions can be kept into the intact for immediate target of 1650 to 1700 levels, as long as the stock holds 1500 as a support level.
Okay, 1650 to 1700 is a level one could watch out for IndusInd Bank. That's a word coming in from Swati on IndusInd Bank. But let's move on and actually step into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after this break.